I don't believe that my destiny is tied around anyone else. I believe that I control my destiny. So I had to like just look for ways to evolve in this space. So hence why I started making my own music, trying to do other things. I've never received any residual income from Nigeria. Oh, this artist you produce for bought a flashy car, just bought this, and you can't even afford, to buy your next meal. First time traveling to America, just seeing how people, did things.
What did you see?
I was thrown in a studio session. First time I'm going to probably see some of my idols. And there I saw Timbaland going crazy, making a beat with another artist, another room. There was Swiss beats, and there was one of them they liked, right? And as I was playing it, he was like, oh, he's really feeling this. I should turn it up. I should turn the volume up. And I was maxed out, right? But I kept like just making it seem like, oh my God, there's something faulty. There's something wrong with this, blah, blah, blah. People forget that I've been making music for a very long time.
That's 2
Professionally, I would be 20 years in 2027. You either or you think that's the only way you can be successful as a music producer.
Sarz, producer, architect of modern Afrobeats. From One Dance to Mona Lisa, his sound has powered records that cross continents and reshape the global music conversation. With credits spanning Wizkid, Burna Boy, Drake, and Thames, Sarz has helped redefine the rhythm of a generation. Billions of streams, Grammy-nominated collaborations, and a drum pattern you recognize in seconds. Quiet presence, global impact.
What's up, everybody? This is Sarz, and I just spoke some of my truth on Afrobeat intelligence.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Mattel. Be the standout Swift.
Afrobeats Intelligence, presented by OkayAfrica.
Democratizing African music with Joey Akan.
What's good? It's good to see you. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
What's cracking you up?
Nothing's cracking me up. It's just happy. I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, nice. Nice. I think the last time I ever did interview you, it was in Bookie HQ's office.
The last time I remember was I know it had something to do with who you are. For some reason. But yeah, it's been quite some years now.
Yeah, and in those years, you've done a lot. You've changed who you are.
I've tried
physically, professionally.
Yeah.
You've professionally, you've extended. You've compounded and extended. Because now you're a DJ.
I literally just tweeted something about that, but we can go into that later. But yeah, I'm a DJ now. Let me allow you finish your question.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I still remember snippets of our conversation the last time I ever did interview you, where you started speaking, or rather you spoke about how a producer finds long-lasting value, because the scene was changing then, and I think you mentioned how much more can you produce for a lot of people without any form of ownership. Yeah.
Especially in Afrobeats, where so many things work against you if you're behind the music. For starters, I've never received any residual income from Nigeria. Ever. So for a long time, you're only as good as the advance you make from the song.
Why has there been no residual income in Nigeria or from Nigeria?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have all the answers, but that's how it's been for the longest time. I mean, they say we have COSON, we have these bodies, but nothing, so it feels maybe like it's gate kept or someone is doing something funny somewhere. So how can you survive, as a producer? You make a hit for an artist and they pay you maybe a couple $100,000 of naira. that wasn't enough. Like before the song comes out, you've already like ran through that money, and people have an expectation of you, because you produce a hit, you should be like this and like that. You should have this kind of amount of money. You should be able to pull this.
Your station in life should have changed.
Yeah.
Your financial power should have
Yeah,
increased.
and that's not really the case. So you have to like find other ways to make things work. And I don't believe that my destiny is tied around anyone else. I believe that, I control my destiny. So I had to like just look for ways to evolve in this space. So hence why I started making my own music, started owning music, trying to do other things. I think that Don Jazzy got it right from the jump, with I think that
his was an ownership model.
yeah, I think that in Afrobeat space, maybe not now, but starting then in the early mid 2000s, you either have music of your own featuring people, or you sign artists and have a record label and go through that format. I think that's the only way you can be successful as a music producer. Any other way, if you're just producing from one person to the other and just waiting for advances, you're just living from hand to mouth, pretty much. Yeah, that's my own point of view, because some people might say, oh, that's not really true. But, to a large extent, I've experienced this, and I think from my own point of view, that's really true. So Don Jazzy got it right from the jump, where he started, more hits with the band. There was ownership there. So, they made a ton of money. And for other people like us that were just producing one person to the other, it was really a struggle. And yeah, so things had to change.
But it's a bit of a freelancing. It's a bit of a from gig to gig, song to song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
when
how
you do that,
hot can you really be? Like, you can be hot for a while, but sometimes we human beings will always want, what's next, what's new. Even with fashion, sometimes you might like a brand, right? And this other brand that's hot and new comes out. Doesn't mean that this brand is not creating, pieces that you love, but you just want something new, you want a change. So how hot can you really be before someone else, takes over the scene and they're like, eating off your share of the national cake?
but even the variables involved in advancing yourself, you might have a million bangers spread all around the city, and you don't move forward if those songs don't come out.
That's another thing. You spend your night and day producing, like you said, a million bangers for different artists. If they don't put it out, you're not getting paid for it. And there's also no residual income, So really, how hard can you work before you crash out? Right? And we're even just talking about the creative aspect of this. There's also like the mental aspect where all of this is happening and you're just not mentally stable enough to accept the reality of the situation. All right. Yeah. Like, so you can't even create because, this artist you produce for just bought a flashy car, just bought this, and you can't even afford, to buy your next meal. Or do you get what I'm saying? And you equally worked on that track as much as they did. I personally believe that a producer and an artist, share, equally the creative input to making a song. So why is one person not, one person is taking all the financial benefits from that project and you're just in the back burner, not getting anything. Yeah. But I think that's just unique to
music.
Nigeria, maybe Africa as a whole. Because since the globalization of Afrobeats, we've been getting residual incomes everywhere outside the shores of Africa, which makes it, more lucrative. At least now people can earn a living off making music.
The sustainability.
Yeah. It took a long time for me to stay afloat. To just be like, hold on now, hold on to add till we got here. And I'm so happy that, this is here now and I'm still in the conversation.
Beautiful. What was the major thing globalization changed in how you approached music? What was the major shift in how you conducted yourself, conducted your business, and approached like creativity itself?
That really, what really changed everything for me, first time traveling to America, just seeing how people, did things, it made me realize that there's really no room for mediocrity, right?
What
Which
did
is
you see?
excellence. Excellence in everything that they do. They make sure it's right. They don't sleep. And that was something I wasn't used to. I wasn't used to that clockwork, right? Because,
Just 247.
well, not necessarily 247, but they worked a lot, and it was a lot of professionals, people that really knew what they were doing, and not just manage it now. I really hate that culture, in the Nigerian space. Like, we celebrate mediocrity so much, and it annoys me. It annoys me so much. But that really changed my mindset that, if you're going to compete on a global level, you have to step things up. You can't just be a local champion. Your sound, your choice of sound, the kind of music you listen to, your work ethic, you need to do better. It also opened my mind to collaboration, but because before then, everyone felt like doing things by yourself is the way. Collaborating on another person takes away from your creative genius. Like, what do you mean I produced this song with this person, or we're 10 people on a track? Then no one did that. So that really opened my mind to collaborating more, because before then I used to do everything myself. I just didn't think that collaborating a track with someone else is the right thing to do. So it really opened my mind, to how things work there. Yeah.
Yeah, that collaboration thing. Before globalization hit us, it was something.
Yeah. How dare someone writes for
Yeah,
you?
you got punished for having creative help.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the songs that we celebrate, a lot of like the biggest songs in the world, are done by a bunch of people coming together. Right? Yeah.
And when globalization happened, of course, your songs were very instrumental in allowing that happen. One Dance.
Mhm.
There was One Dance.
Come Closer.
Come Closer.
Yeah.
Your songs were very instrumental. And going into a new market in the US, culture shock, creative shock, professional shock.
Yeah.
Seeing that, there's another level to how this can be. Did you take you a while to settle in?
Yes, it took me a while.
And what did that settling process look like?
So
Having to work internationally.
I'll give you this something I experienced. First time in America, I was thrown in a studio session by a very, 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 very big artist, producer, label exec. And I get in there, feeling very nervous. right?
Of course.
You know, first time I'm going to probably see some of my idols. And I get in there and I see, I was at the reception saying I was looking for this A&R person. And while I was waiting, there was a studio right in front of me. And there I saw Timbaland going crazy, making a beat with another artist. And I was like, wow. So I was just intrigued. First time seeing him. I was trying to peep. Then some security came, was like, oh, what was I doing? And I was like, oh, sorry. Anyway, I remember going upstairs. There was another room. There was Swiss Beats, and they were just different producers. Then we found a room where it was myself and one other producer, and we made the setup in that room. And this first producer was playing like some trap beats when the A&R came, and they said they were looking for some, Afro house sounding type of stuff. I remember playing some tracks, and there was one of them they liked, right? And as I was playing it, he was like, oh, he's really feeling this. I should turn it up. I should turn the volume up. And I was maxed out, right? It was the loudest.
That was all of it.
It was the loudest, right? But I kept like just making it seem like, oh my God, there's something faulty. Yeah, there's something wrong with this, blah, blah, blah. But in that moment, I knew like, yeah, you got to step it up. You got to step this shit up. And
Wait, so
yeah.
even their volumes, you're louder.
Yeah, of course. Like in that time when they send you beats, they sound like mastered already, right? And with us, it only sounds mastered when it's mastered, when the song is finished, right? So I was like, now I need to learn industry standard processes and how to like just, make my music loud, make it sound as good as possible. So I just got obsessed with that, and I just started, practicing and practicing and practicing until I got to a comfortable level where I'm like, okay, yes, I can play this anywhere, anytime, and it sounds great. Yeah, that took a while, but that experience opened my mind, to that. Yeah, before then, we used to make songs. Sometimes we don't even mix it.
We don't mix and master. You just send the song before the artist climbs play, and you just leak it.
Exactly. Like the demos that they record,
Yep.
they just
Leak it just like that. It
just
becomes
leak
a thing.
Yeah. So and some producers and artists would tell you with their chest that they don't mix and master their music. Right? Yeah, so there's so much that has changed now, from people not mixing and mastering their songs, of people paying thousands of dollars to mix a song.
Yeah.
Right.
People are talking about Dolby Atmos, lossless.
Yeah. Exactly. So we've come a long way. I still don't think we're there yet, but we've definitely come a long way.
And having a bit more certainty about your business with globalization, it became more lucrative. You were doing a lot more work outside, or work that was, even the ones that were Africa facing, came through foreign vehicles. What did that do for how you approached music? Seeing now that, yes, you could, as a person, you could take a breather now, instead of wondering, was being in fight or flight mode. You could take a breather now. What does that do to creativity, that certainty of resources?
For me personally, it's even hard to take a breather because my brain never turns off, right? Music and life for me is so intertwined that it's so hard to separate. Anytime I have downtimes, I feel like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? I need to be doing something. And it's so hard to, shut that off after, like, maybe because I started really early. People forget that I've been making music for a very long time.
That's 2 decades.
Professionally, I would be 20 years in 2027. Right. That's a very long time of you doing something, only one thing in life. So it's hard for me to take a breather. But I do understand what you're saying, that Now you don't have to just think about the next thing you have to do to be able to, like, eat or
Yeah,
afford.
you don't have survival
Yeah,
breathing
yeah.
down your craft.
Yeah, which is great. Which this is a point I think every creative should get to, because I think creativity is more a passion than a job. I think you always want to be passionate about creating, but when you find that intersection between creativity and what you need to do to survive, which a lot of us, especially here in Africa, here find ourselves in, you start to strain that passion, you start to strain that creativity, and it messes with your head, because the life that you desire, once you're not getting the results of the life that you desire from the thing that you love, you start to hate the thing you love.
True.
Yeah. So it's very tricky. Sometimes they'll tell you, do what you love so that it doesn't feel like you're working in your life. But no one tells you about the mental gymnastics that
Yeah,
does to you
But
when
what if that thing, nobody asks you, tells you what to do when that thing does not love you back in that
It's-
way?
it never doesn't love you back. You only think it doesn't love you back because you're not getting the desired results from it. If you were doing it as a passion, it will always love you, because you do, there's no expectation,
Yeah.
right? You can create. You don't care if someone says, what's this? Not for me. I don't like it. Or what rubbish is this? Right? You don't care about that. You might not even put it out for people to critique or anything. You're just happy doing it. The same way I was happy finding music production for the first time, creating, making 10 to 15 beats every day. That's all I wanted to do. Right? But the moment I started putting it out, and some people were like, man, this is rubbish. This is the worst thing I've heard from Sarz. Then it triggers something, right? Because you're putting that out not just because you love it, but because you love it and also want it to fund your life, right? Because that's what you do for work, right? When it's now not working for work, it becomes a mental problem. Thinking, what can I do? What else can I do? But if it was just pure passion, you have a job you're doing, but you love to paint on the side and your house is just a gallery. It's like, then it's your safe space. Yeah. That's how I see it.
But doing something for 18 years, that's a long time, man.
It is a long time.
How do you rejuvenate your mind when you've done one thing for 18 years? I know the variables will change, or for you, the variables constantly change.
Yeah.
And the levels, of course, it rises, but it's the same thing.
I have so much of it in me. There's so much I want to do. There's so many ideas I want to try. So many ways I want to express myself. I've also been able to build the discipline for the times I wake up and I'm like, right? It's like, because after doing this for a long time, you don't wake up feeling passionate, especially like what we just said earlier about, like, being in that intersection. You don't wake up passionate feeling like, today I want to create, not as much as you used to do, like, years down the line.
The flame is a bit tempered. Even if it's there, it's tempered by experiences.
By experiences that, you've kind of strangled it, right? Because you want it to do X, Y, Z for you. And not every time. It's not going to work every time. Times it works, you're happy, the flame is burning and everything. Times it don't work, you're just like, oh, what's going on? But I just have so much of this in me. And when I'm not doing music, it feels like sometimes I may not have, direction. So music is really purposeful for me. Like,
It's your
yeah.
life's anchor.
Yeah, I really, really love to do music. Yeah.
But sound itself, why did you choose sound? Of all the ways, or did it find you? Of all the ways you can express yourself, why was sound your thing? And what do you think predisposed you to it?
So when I started listening to music, that I choose to listen to, not just passively, I noticed that I did not care for lyrics. I was driven by beats. Right. This is why, most of my interviews I'll tell you like, oh, I used to be, not used to be, but I was always like inspired by Timbaland, Dr. Dre, Pharrell. Those were the people that made me choose a song to listen to. Like when I say produced by Timbaland, I already know what to expect, right? And I just want to listen to that. It's like on my 20th, 30th listen, and then now start to care. What did this person say on the song, right? I know a lot of people are more like, what's he saying on the song? I love lyrics. Even till dates, when I'm working with artists, I don't really care for lyrics. I care about melodies and I care about the beats. It's later
Why?
on.
Why is that more important for you?
It's I think this is already in my DNA, is in my genetic coding, that this is how I am. The same way that, there are people that can roll their tongues and there are people that can't.
Yeah, I can.
I'm one of those people that loves beats and sounds and for music and not lyrics. So when I got the opportunity to make music, obviously I tilted more to making beats. That's just how it is.
And making these beats, when you started, what was your approach? What were you trying to do when you made beats? What was driving you then? Or how did you see sound then? What
When I
would make it
started,
harmonious?
when I started, I started by trying to do what Timbaland would do. Right? That's how I started. So I would even say by heart, I'm more hip hop than anything else. That's how I started like beats. That's the music I grew up listening to. Right? And if for some reason I found myself clicked up with maybe the likes of the Nato C's, the Sinzu, the Storm Records, I would have been a hip hop producer. Like my trajectory would have been very different, right? But you see that mix with all these Yoruba boys, the Reminisces, the Dice, that Green, all those guys. I mean, they used to mock me every time that I can't speak Yoruba. I live in Lagos all my life, blah, blah, blah. And I think that mix made me like dig deeper into Nigerian sounds and my own influence. So I'm now like, how can I bring my flavor, which is, hip hop, a hint of Timbaland here and there, and mix that with what these guys are doing. Because these guys will be playing Wasiu, Ayinde Marshall, they'll be playing Yoruba songs and stuff. I'm like, how can I mix this too? And
How did you find the intersection?
I'm a brilliant person.
Of course you are. Of course you are, but the way you use your bass, your drums, and your kicks,
Yeah.
I think it's come to define you.
Yes. Um, in this space, I don't think anyone you can recognize the Sarz drums, like, and that's very unique to me. And I know how to like bring different things together, different worlds together, and make it authentic and make it something. I think that's one of my strongest features when it comes to production. You can take Happiness, for example. Happiness has some pop, some on a piano, some Afrobeats, some funk,
Yeah.
but it sounds like its own thing. It doesn't just sound like, oh, you just brought things together that doesn't work. I brought them together and it works in an authentic way that can live on its own.
Yeah.
So it's just something I know how to do, and I also enjoy doing that. When it comes to music, I love to figure things out. You know, if people are having challenges doing it, that's where I want to be, because I know I'll figure it out. I just believe in myself so much.
And when the results come out, or rather, that's the kind of behavior that makes you a pioneer. Yeah, because figuring that thing out means you're birthing new things.
Yeah. Yeah. If you in the producer community space, I've inspired so many people.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of producers are always looking forward to what I'm going to do next, because they just feel like, oh, this guy's going to come up with something that might inspire me to do something else. And I've seen that happen many times in the span of my career. You know, people always just saying, that's really nice. You know, I'm going to tap into this. And sometimes they tap into it and make it their own and run away with that as well, which is great. I think that's what I'm here for. Inspire people. If you can't figure it out, don't worry, I'll figure it out for you and run with it.
But with this other record off your album, Protect Sarz at All Costs, brilliant album.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Like I told you, my best is still Mademoiselle.
Yeah, you said so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that song. It's brilliant. And so on a record like Getting Paid,
Yeah.
it still obeys your format of multiple words. But when you bring those worlds together, what then makes it sweet? How do you mine out the sweetness?
That's come from decision making over time.
Okay.
Right.
That's what mastery is.
Yes, you know, choices over time. And I've just been able to learn my format. It's not something I can't tell you it was at this point that I did this or at this point that I did that. But decisions you make every day has just made you know, okay, if I have this, I know what to do with this. I know how to bring this together and bring that together till it sounds, you know, unique. You know, it's the same way, you know, you're dressing up to go out. You're trying different outfits. There's one you try and you're just like, yeah.
This combination
that's it.
works.
This works. Like, you know, it's just pleasing to the eyes. It's pleasing to my ears. My brain, you know, gives a nod of approval. Yeah, that's the best way I can explain it.
And how does that come up against? It's been successful, but how does that come up against audience behavior?
That goes back to, and as much as everything we've spoken about, you know, is our truths, music it's still very, very relative. It's it's still heavily opinion based. So
Subjective.
yeah, subjective. It's even if you're at mastery level and you do something, there's still someone in the world that's going to say no, skip. I don't like this, right? And what are you going to do about that? You know, and it goes back to the point that if you're in that intersection, right, of passion and work, it's going to affect you. Except you're just a passionate person and you don't care. But you can't say you're putting out work just for the sake of work. I mean, you're putting out music just for the sake of music if you find yourself in that intersection, because how people consume it, you know, would affect you some way, somehow. Because you're doing, like, you're putting all this work to put out music that you love, but also you want it to do well. And if people are not, receiving it well, hey, it's like, all that work has gone to waste.
But what are the guarantees in that relationship?
You tell me.
Yeah,
You tell me.
because it's it's understanding that guarantee, knowing that some people would swear, or rather have hung with creatives or have worked with creatives that seem to have the pulse. They can twist it in multiple ways. That's what longevity is now.
Yes, so
constant winning,
this
constantly making the right choice.
yes, and this is a lot of things. This is also, I think this is where perception comes to play.
Okay.
Right? You can, or I guess marketing. If you know how to market a product, you can make it seem like the next best thing, right? And give people a reason why they should have it. And if you've done that, if you've been successful time after time after time, there's a trust that's been built where, if you put out music, at least you get first listen ears, right? People would care enough to even check you out to see if it's their thing or not. And sometimes that's all you need, for people to even listen and be like, oh, I like this, add this to my library, or I don't like this, not for me, maybe next time. But that's because you've built, consistently that you make great music, right? How you got there might be just putting out great music. There's also the luck factor. It's very layered. I don't think that it's just, one thing. I've seen people change the perception of a song, with PR and influencing and everything. Because you hear the song comes out, you hear it the first time, and you're like, no, I don't care about it. Then you see someone else, saying, man, this is the best song, and they're dancing and moving to it. And you're like, why is this person moving to this song? This song is not that great. Then you listen again, and you're like, I still don't like it. And you see more people do it. You listen again, still don't like it. Fourth time you listen, you're like, okay. I'm not going to play it, but if it comes on my playlist or comes on shuffle, fine, I'll let it play. And then your perception has, slowly changed, right? And a lot of songs are like that. So there's a lot that, comes to play. I don't think we can explain that, because it's very layered. There's so many things, involved.
So no guarantees then, even at whatever level you're at. There are no guarantees that this. Then How do you build
Guarantees at what? Because for every artist,
guarantees of success? Because
for
some people
every
have formulas.
for every artist, success is relative. For example, if an artist has had a global undeniable smash, a top 20 Billboard hit, right?
Yeah.
If you drop another song that is a smash, is a club smash, but it doesn't hit top 100, right? People say it's a flop.
Fall off.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, flop era.
yeah. So it's very relative when we talk about success. The better your releases do, the more pressure it puts on you to even outperform those, because that's what people would, call success for you. Meanwhile, if someone else drops a song and he hits 89 on the Billboard, that might be their biggest thing, and everybody will champion that. Oh my God, he did so well. Probably they'll say even did better than you that were higher up on Billboard, because they expect more from you based on, the level of success you've attained previously. So it's very relative depending on where you're at in your career.
So, did any of that pressure self-inflicted for the most part? Did any of that?
It's not really self-inflicted. People be talking. You're one of those people. Everybody has an agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have an agenda.
Everybody has an agenda. And you are one of those people that would say XYZ about certain people, and and you're now saying it's self-inflicted. We're all human beings here. Like, a lot of times, all these artists, they see all these things and it affects them. The same way someone will say something about you and it will affect you. But
I want to self-inflict myself with a drink.
But agenda must agenda, like they say.
Okay. You care for some?
No. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool. Well, that's because you check comments.
What does that mean?
If you don't check comments, if you only check the numbers, you have your dashboard now. If you only read dashboards, you're fine.
Bro, we're human beings.
True.
You check comments. Check comments. I don't even need to know. If you can lie to me and say you don't, but you do. You post something.
Really?
That's a lie. Because sometimes you're curious. You post something and you check comments and see where it's swaying to, if it's swaying your way or not. Right? And social media now in 2025, especially after Elon has done what he's done, it's not even about what you're doing. It's about them making money.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So, but, in that space of them making money, they might be saying hurtful things that actually might change your
Change your
mental temperature.
Oh no. Yeah, I admit in the past I have, or even in the past
In
I
the
have
present,
been
what do you
in
mean?
the
Joey, I'm not going to allow this.
combatant in the past. Now I bring more light to situations than heat.
Because the light is your POV. Right?
It's still my flashlight.
Yeah.
I bring my light.
But I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. And with sustainability and ownership, how has ownership, having your own songs, how did that impact your career? And how do you know, if you make a lot for a lot of people, how do you know what to keep for yourself? Because that's the pitfall generally for producer albums or crowdsourced albums. That's usually the pitfall.
Like I said, it's not a one size fits all. You know, you just use.
How did you know you were going to keep getting paid?
How did I know I was gonna keep it?
Yeah.
Because I really, really like the song, and I think that I wanted to share that with the world. You know, no matter what, I just knew like I wanted to make that happen.
Did you craft it as your record?
Yeah, from the jump.
Okay.
Yeah, from the jump. Everything on the album I crafted as my record. Yeah. You just know, man. You just know what you want to keep. Ownership, like you were saying, changes everything. Because if you own a song, until you sell the song or sell the catalog, you're making money from that too. It's great residual income, right? And you want to be in that position where, you know, money's working for you, and at the end of the month, it's just, yeah. And that's the thing. You know, maybe some people don't even think that long. You're not even thinking like, you know, this great songs you're making, 20 years down the line, you know, someone might sample that, and that song might just be the biggest song, and you're just there making 7 figures, you know, every quarter from just sitting doing nothing, right? Like, you don't know who you're inspiring. You don't know who's gonna listen to your catalog somewhere down the line. So this is why they say, you know, ownership is important, owning catalogs. But you also need to know how to like work it, right? Because
In what way?
in ways that, you know, because some people talk about ownership and they're like, oh, they swear by it. But if you own music and the music is just in your living room, it's not making nothing, you know, it's zero. So knowing how to work it, knowing with people to work with, knowing the licensing companies to work with, that they can, you know, make your catalog work for you, profitable. Yeah. It's also as important as owning a catalog, right? Yeah. Because if people that have catalogs that doesn't
Yeah, a
make
lot
anything.
of catalogs don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just there.
Yeah,
They're
they're just there. Yeah. Whereas there's some people that are making millions every year. Every year from catalogs from music they made in the 70s, you know, in the 80s. You know how crazy that is. You know, 70s till now is 50 years. 50 years later, you're still making millions every year. So that's the beautiful thing about music and ownership. And I think why it's important, especially in this side of the world, until we figure out our multitude of problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our multitude of problems, because there's so
Yeah, they are.
many things.
They are.
Yeah. But what I think is the most important, it's not even music, I think it's the economic problem. I think if we have more buying power,
Yeah.
right, a lot of things will change. You know, right now it's at an all-time low and it's affecting everything.
But when you think of Dirty December, doesn't look like it.
I mean, this is just it's just one period in the year.
Yeah, it's just 1 month of the year.
Yeah.
And not even a month. It's like 3 weeks in a year.
Yeah, and if everyone has to save up just to be able to afford to see the, you know, the musicians they love in December, that's crazy. That's crazy. We should be able to be here, make music for here, tour here, and earn the lifestyle that we desire here. Yeah, but it's not just the music. You know, it's layered. There's so many things. It's the government, it's the people, it's the economy, it's the things that are already like ingrained in us that we have to unlearn. It's a lot of work. To be honest, I don't have faith.
I lost my faith in 2020.
Yeah,
I held on to it until then.
Yeah, the fact that we still don't have a proper venue that can accommodate the traffic that Afrobeats command now. Still, it's crazy. Yeah, but even if we have a venue, there's still a logistics problem from infrastructure and security that we can't really do anything about until, the government sits up and decides to do something about it. So it's like, I think that sometimes we've helped ourselves enough to the point where, what else can we do? We need another sector to sit up. Right? That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
Yeah, music is. I was drawing it out on my board the other day. I was looking for solutions, and every time you think of a solution to a problem, an infrastructural problem that ails music, you'd have to pull in another different industry or sector in. For example, transportation. Now we need labor for that. It works. Security. Of course, we need the police for that. And then when you talk about even things like even macroeconomic forces, like would I use the word, the price of the naira, or the rate of the value of the naira itself?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why things are so expensive now. Nothing seems
But we did
affordable.
stay in a we did enjoy a bubble. Afrobeats enjoyed a bubble
I'll say
until
2022, 2023 golden years.
Yeah, we did enjoy that bubble for a bit.
But it's not just Afrobeats, I think black music in general side declined. True. But I mean, trust us to make it about Afrobeats when
because that's our own piece of black music now.
I guess so, yes. But yeah, it's not just us. I even think that I just lost my thoughts. I was gonna say something, but
it's not just us. It's not just Afrobeats.
No, I know. But it will come back to me.
But we've always operated in silos. I think that's one of the things that have ailed us so much. We don't, even in music, we don't think of the collective. So when we talk about industry,
do Africans think of a collective in anything? Let's not make this about music. Do we?
No, we don't. Yeah, it's cultural.
Yeah, it's cultural.
And so it just
wait, where would you say that stems from?
I think it stems from survival.
Sometimes I think
lack of resources. On a general level, it stems from a lack of resources, because the lack of resources means a lot of people are focused on survival. And when you focus on survival, you're focused for you and yours, because you don't even have enough to split. And even the people who eventually move past that game, you're still left with that mentality, because that's how you got it. So you had to find people who are collective canvassers, and even even in spaces or times when the collective have benefited from something, it has mostly come from an individual figuring out something that works for themselves, and then everybody else just applying it. Like Alaba, for example.
Okay, so would you say we're the only ones trying to survive?
You're the poorest.
Do you think that?
No, not.
I mean, sometimes don't
there are levels to survival. Ours is like the lowest rung of it. Yeah, think
I mean,
about it. We're the
I don't,
largest gathering. We're the largest
I don't-
gathering of poor people in the
Yeah.
world.
I don't have the facts, but what about India?
Yeah, they have their own problems. So that's why as much
Yeah,
as
but I see that, especially in diaspora, I see that they're come together more, like even in neighborhoods where they all live in that area, I feel like there's a sense of community, while ours only feels like a sense of community because we're all chasing the same thing. So we see ourselves along the way and be like, my brother, my brother, my brother. But we're all going solo.
yeah, we're colleagues.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're all colleagues. Yeah. I guess the survival thing. Yeah. But yeah, so our problems, man. Yeah, I think when we have like think pieces about like Afro beats and what needs to be done, what not. I just think it's deeper than that. And I think that once we become, a better version of ourselves as people, maybe via exposure, education, poverty eradication, things like that, then we'll start to see things like normal human beings. Yeah, we'll start to see things, and then maybe we'll start having solutions, to the problems. Like, cause we're trying, man. We're trying. Like, from a demographic that was giving little or nothing to figure this out. Look how far we've come.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Look
We
how
did.
far we've come. We've really tried. We really tried for ourselves. And we've been able to change the narrative of what it is to be a Nigerian in the world.
True.
Now it's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
We made it cool.
Yeah. And that's because we followed our passion and just, did our best and push that, to the world. Yeah. That's
Yeah. So those are your that's you should
Learn to give ourselves flowers for that. Yeah, we should. It wasn't easy.
yeah, it wasn't. I mean, mistakes are being made, but I don't even think that. When they say we allowed foreign investors into Afrobeats.
What was the other option?
Exactly.
That's the question I ask.
Exactly. What was the other option? What were we supposed to do? Right. Yeah, because it wasn't funny before.
Yes,
So,
it wasn't.
yeah, like
It wasn't. Before Afrobeats to the world, we didn't have an industry.
I was very cutthroat. As a producer, you make a song that is playing all over Nigeria. That's a smash. That alone is enough for you to be set up for life. But no, you have nothing. And all you're hoping for is that the artist that you produce a song for, that some way, somewhere down the line, something touches his heart. And it's like, now my producer produced a song for me. Okay, take this small Camry, make you use it as seafront. That's crazy to me. All right, because I just think that shouldn't be a conversation to be had. We've both done our work. It's successful. The music should be working for us and we should both be happy. Right? Yeah. And until Afrobeats to the world, that was
There was no
it.
hope of
there
that.
was no
There
there was
hope
no
of change.
yeah, there was no hope of change, especially, from my point of view of people behind the music. Because people in front of the music, at least they were still seeing shows, they were still going here and they're moving around, we could see evidence that, music is lucrative, right? But for people behind the music, Jesus Christ, bruh, yeah.
So, but you've beyond even like making genre altering records, you've also been you've also come in front of the stage. You're in front of camera now. You're front facing. And for someone
Guy.
who has always said, I don't like camera, look at you
Yeah,
now.
boy,
You
exactly.
even
But
started selling your body.
you guys evolve, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
But
that was really
that,
brilliant though. Having to put in all the work and then
yeah, and I think that every, to stay fresh, to stay relevant, you have to keep evolving. You have to try new things, you know. And I find the things that I'm comfortable expressing, right? And just run with it. It's not
But
like it's easy.
okay.
Like, for example, DJing wasn't easy because it puts me in front of people, right? And for me, I would say, unlike other people, I was already popular before I took on this journey. So anytime I wanted to try out something like, DJ somewhere, I didn't even want people to know that, I'm DJing there because I wasn't, confident enough yet. That will never be the case because the hype man will be like, ladies and gentlemen, now, da, 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 da," and they'll announce me and people will carry their cameras and I'm just like, hey, Jesus, how am I going to DJ now?
You're the upcoming DJ.
Yeah, so I had to like walk around that. So from that to selling out my first show in London, it's
Well done.
crazy.
Well done.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that people like buying hard tickets, to come see you. It's crazy, like that journey. Just follow through, just stay consistent, and eventually it will make sense. And I'm so glad that I'm DJing now because another way for me to just even express myself in ways that I can't, producing music.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that's what you have to do now. You have to evolve. Um, Working out for me has built so much discipline. Right. It's not just about looking your best. It's also about showing up when you don't feel like it. And I'm able to put that in other pillars of my life. This is why sometimes when I don't even feel like producing, I could just stand up and go. And if sometimes I'm glad I went because that's where you meet someone and you guys have an unexpected collaboration and, things just go crazy. So there's that. And I also want to live a healthy and fun life, right? Older you get, the more you have to pay attention to these things and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
All my colleagues, I tell them, I at the gym the other day, I saw Brain Jotta, and we were just talking, and I was telling him like, "Oh, you should become. Do you go to gym?" He said, "No," and I was like, "You should come to the gym." Like even if, blah, blah, blah. I was trying to convince him, and I know the way he was looking at me, it was just like, "Guy, I beg, I don't hear this is this talk." But last night, tell him say, body go tell you. You go reach
Yeah.
one stage for your life.
You just
You go find yourself
yeah,
there.
you'll be forced to make that. Your body will
Yeah.
make that decision for
Yeah,
you.
which sometimes is too late.
True.
Yeah.
True. I've been in the gym for 2 years now. Yeah.
Well done.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's something I started off as a long distance runner. Over there, you just see medals there. These are my running medals.
Crazy.
Yeah, so marathons, all of that.
Yeah, that's not something
Yeah, that was my base. I enjoy it. I enjoy how I dissociate. Mind disappears from body, and so body just goes. That's what happens when you're on very long distances. But with the gym, but then I started having injuries, and I also looked in the mirror one day, and I'm like, I want to look like I want to have a slutty waist. those are my motivations now. I want to have a K-pop waist.
Go on.
And then I want to have a slutty waist. And I go into the gym, and it became an obsession for me. I loved it so much that now it's adult play for me. It's like going to your playground. Even this morning before you got here, I spent 3 hours at the gym.
That's crazy. What are you doing for 3 hours in the
I
gym?
have to run 5 to 7K first.
That's.
Yeah, then I have to wait for 20 minutes to cool down before I start
Do
lifting.
you want some advice?
Well,
That's counterproductive to weightlifting. You want to weight lift first before you run. And the days you weight lift, I mean, depending on your goals, but I think you should train first, then run.
well, I'll try.
Because that way you'll be able to like fatigue your muscles properly.
Yeah.
It's not like your heart is tired and you can't keep pushing. Right,
It's
yeah.
different though.
Huh?
It means different.
I mean,
I speed run 5K. 5K. I sprinted 5K yesterday, and then immediately I was done. 20 minutes, have your bath, switch clothes, and then I did full leg day. so, and today I'm working on it. So yeah, I enjoy it so much, and to see someone use it for marketing directly in the way that you utilized it. But you took off all your shirt. I'm like, put a shirt on.
I wouldn't say I used it for marketing. I didn't use it for marketing.
You stopped wearing shirts, Sarz.
Yeah, but it's not marketing.
But you knew it helped. Tell me you did not know
That I didn't know it helped.
that it helped your marketing for Protect Sarza. It was even your album cover now. Oh God.
I mean, yes. It's my album. No. I'm saying yes, it's my album cover. It's my album cover. Like, what's wrong with me not wearing a
Nothing
shirt?
is wrong. I'm
Yes.
just saying admit it. That you played it to your advantage.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But that was beautiful to see that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see what your body can do.
Okay. But just before we go, thank you. Just before we go, in 18 years of leading from the front, 18 years nonstop, across multiple eras, across different industry shifts and realignments, globalization came and still leading from the front. How do you mark time? How do you mark these shifts and know what you have to do? Because longevity is, apart from change, it's nearly 2 decades of making a ton of decisions that have led you here.
Yeah, so I kind of answered this earlier when I said find your voice in every time and era. Find the things you're comfortable in and double down.
What did you double down in your when you started?
When I started in that time, there was nothing to do than to make music. Right? You make music, and it was really people spreading my gospel word of mouth.
Yep.
Right? And that was enough to get me in the rooms with certain people. Then, Twitter came, people started talking, and, it amplified the voices because you could just speak more. Then, Instagram came, the use of videos started coming, people started showing the processes and all those things, things started changing. And now, we are in a creation era and an interest era where sometimes even speaking about things you're interested in would bring a flock of, people to you. And so it's just really about expanding your niche now and not just, staying in one place. Because as human beings, like, we're multidimensional. There's so many things that we love to do, for you, it might be collecting art, sharing the art you've collected might start something that will change your life forever. You just never know. All right. So with music, it's just really about finding your voice. So like you said, I'm using my body to yeah.
I used how that sounds.
It's finding your voice. It's DJing in front of people, making content. It's give you another example. Like the other day when I talked about the late Tumani Diabate that I sampled on Getting Paid. That reached so many people that I didn't even think it was even going to go that far. And this was a process I could have ignored, right? But I just said, you know what? I don't even think people know I sampled this. People just like played that and I was like, let me just share this. And I shared it, and yeah, it brought so many people in. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, that's genius. That's this, that's this. So it's just really finding your voice in every time that you find yourself in. Using AI as a tool. Yeah. But so I'm not saying do everything, Be authentic to yourself in every era. Find the things you're comfortable with. And
Pursue
run
your
with it.
interests, your genuine interests.
My genuine interest.
I say pursue your genuine interest.
Pursue your genuine interest. Like, you never know. Yeah. Like, I'm very interested in fitness. I'm very interested in tech.
Yeah.
Music technology. There's so many, fashion. I'm not a big sports person. For some reason, I don't know why I don't care about sports much anymore. I used to watch basketball and football, but one day,
I'm a football head.
I know.
Mixed martial arts too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I like
I love
combat
combat.
sports.
I love combat. The art of combat.
Yeah. Me, kickboxing and boxing.
Okay. That's a sport then.
Yeah.
But you follow it now.
Some fights, not every fight.
About this Joshua, Jake Paul.
I mean, that's going to be entertaining. We'll watch that to see. Yeah, because it's not going to be like the Jake Paul Tyson
No,
fight.
it would not.
Yeah, I feel like Joshua would knock him out if it goes that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, brother. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for the work you've put into the space, and thank you for leading and for showing us what it means to create in this market and find ways to make it work. Yeah, you've given us a lot of happiness. You've also, your existence and even the works of your hands have directly contributed to extending the lifespan of music, the lifespan of creators, and even just infusing new creators into the space. So yeah, in that sense, thank you so much for it, and thank you for doing this once again.